ask you the same thing. Sadaf, you also work in that space. What do you think are the ways to regulate it? And any other example you would like to narrate or share where it has been done effectively yet?
So I think, as you mentioned earlier, regulation of any content online is a very slippery slope. And once you start bringing governments in, you don't know where that regulation is going to stop. And specifically in Pakistan's context, what is declared as fake news? We know that the Ministry of Information right now is running a Twitter account called Fake News Buster, in which everything that goes against the government's narrative is marked as fake news, flagged as fake news. So in countries like ours, where rule of law is not, ideal, and abuse of power is common, and the understanding of civil liberties such as freedom of expression, right to information, and privacy itself, these are contested areas, and seen even unfortunately within the parliament as Western concepts. uh, Talking about regulation is going to be difficult. We have an indication of what it would look like because the government introduced citizens protection against online harm rules in February, which give the control to a singular person, the national coordinator, who gets to define how all these terms will be experienced by the government, and then regulated or taken offline. So the danger of focusing on regulation as a solution to misinformation, that's high. I agree with Dr. Lisa that digital media information literacy, that has to be our prime goal. However, how we get there, that's another question when the government is actively trying to undermine users of social media and trying to create an environment where singular narratives, where dominant, where a hegemony of narratives is being created, so to say. In terms of technology itself, we do know that misinformation, specifically in Pakistan, WhatsApp is one of the primary tools through which misinformation is being spread, and that brings another question of regulation. If the majority of forwards which are spreading dangerous information are going through a platform that's not social media platform, that's a communication encrypted platform that's closed, through to which even the technology company technically doesn't have access to, then how do you really regulate? What do you ask for? And how do you counter it? So then again, civic responsibility becomes a huge issue. People who are from Pakistan, you and I, we see the majority of this fake news thing flowing through family WhatsApp groups where our elderly are present, people who do not have the technical advantage to understand how these things are created and who fall for it. And yet we see younger people who might be better aware not bothering to say, no, what you're forwarding, it's this forward message is not authentic, it's not correct, it's not. That conversation around how information is constructed online, that's not happening across social structures, across social classes, and across generations. That's where I think the intervention would come in, if any effective intervention is there. Regulation itself, that's a very dangerous thing. We're seeing in Bangladesh with the new laws, everything that's critical of government is being branded as fake news, and journalists are being picked up and arrested. And similar stories are happening across the world.
Wow.
So that's one route that I don't think is going to lead to anything. We have to link everything back to digital information literacy, and we have to empower civil society to take a stand against fake news. And we have to take the power back from the governments to define what's authentic and what's not authentic. The fake news buster type elements, and that create a very dangerous situation in which public doesn't really know who to trust and who not to trust. So I know there are lots of people, so that's why I'm keeping this.